a negative charge, positive, negative, positive, negative. I might end up going across this field. Wow. Several things happening at the same time. I mean, literally, it feels like you're being sucked into a portal, and I bet you at Amurumuru it'll be exactly the same thing, because it's the same thing at another place that looks like it in Anatolia.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, I mean, it's really quite something. And even just a stone by itself generates a substantial amount of energy because of the magnetite that's trapped inside it. So when you're surrounding yourself with all of these stones, to a certain degree, you're standing inside a small magnetic field. Avery is a classic example. All the stones are magnetized. So when you surround yourself with all of these stones and all these millions of particles of magnetite, plus the quartz that's under pressure, you're surrounding yourself with a highly pressurized electromagnetic environment. Now, three things happen here. One, you've got iron flowing through the veins of your body. Now, you remember that old trick in school where you take the piece of paper and you sprinkle iron filings on it? You take the horseshoe magnet and you drag it along. Well, guess what's going to happen when you're surrounded by all of this magnetic field around you? It's anchored into the stone that's filled with magnetite. It's going to have an effect on the iron going through the blood. Two, you've got millions of particles of magnetite floating around right now in all the liquid inside your skull. That's what allows you to orient yourself to magnetic north. So you've got all this interference going on, so you start getting what we call in technical terms the tingly-winglies. You start seeing visions, slight discrepancies in oral environments, because your brain is being stimulated. And the third element is the pineal gland. It only requires a small change in the local electromagnetic environment to alter the frequency of the pineal, and the pineal during its usual state, when you're kind of bored or doing nothing, like when I'm talking, it sits like this. But then, as it's vibrated by a change in the local electromagnetic environment, it starts to rise like the cobra, and it starts to vibrate from side to side. And when it does that, two things happen. There's a chemical reaction that takes place because it's uniting the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And that's when you start getting visions. It creates an electrical charge, you see.
So we should be dreaming tonight, is that right?
I'm standing right here and I'm getting a lot of stuff just in front of this big thing.
Really?
I'm being sucked right into it. I mean, it's just pushing me right into this thing.
That chemical reaction is a DMT that's being created?
And yes, it starts raising the DMT count. Exactly. So there's a real technology behind this. And it's very, very elegant. And then you've got the quartz under pressure. You've got one line of energy that goes right into this rock. That's anchoring it in the quartz. So they can keep destroying this, but the energy is not going away anytime soon. I mean, this is profound. And that's a small rock. This is a small stone. Okay? This is just getting you warmed up for what's coming next. Oh, amazing stuff. And also the experiments to do with human consciousness, how you can actually engage with these temples. They designed this machine. It's like a computer, and it's called the REG. And they were trying to figure out how could you mix human consciousness with is it a carnival?
Yeah. I think they're talking to each other.
The birds.
Maybe it's time to go.
But they developed this little device that can measure changes in human consciousness relative to background noise. They wanted to find out if you can mix mysticism with science and how you can explain it. So they found that they gave the sections of the computer to different people around the world with computers. They kept them on, and they found, okay, let's see if a major event happens around the world which will cause a blip on the actual readout machine. Right. And the first time they got this incredible thing around the world, all the computers went absolutely ape. It was the tsunami in Indonesia. Everybody around the world was thinking about this before it happened. Hours before the tsunami hit. Then the next one was 2001. 2 planes about to hit the buildings. Hours before, in the middle of the night, spikes are going off around the world. We're picking out the event before it's physicalized, which is exactly correct, because this is just gross matter. It's not really that important. It's the ethereal that's important. So then they thought, let's take this a stage further. Let's find out what happens at sacred sites, and that's what perked my ears up. Let's go to Wyoming, to Devil's Tower, and I can guarantee you they don't call it Devil's Tower, but when the Christians call it Devil something, you're bound to know it's something fantastic. So they went to Devil's Tower in Wyoming, and they decided to measure the effect of a medicine man ceremony with a small group, and they found that a substantial rise in consciousness at the site. So they did another experiment at a normal site like Walmart car park, and they found they had a medicine man ceremony, did nothing, as you'd expect. And then they went off to Egypt, they buggered off to Egypt. They went to 27 sites, and they found the greatest amounts of deviations at the sacred sites when they're doing ceremonies and meditations at sacred sites. And then something very interesting happened. The principal scientist on the project walks around with a portable version of the machine in his pocket, in respectful silence, through Luxor, Karnak, the pyramids. He found deviations from normal as high as a meditating group in the temple by itself. And it proved that a temple, just by itself, is a living, breathing organism capable of creating enough energy that, say, a group like us would generate in one sitting. But the combination of both would enhance the actual site. It would expand the actual awareness and energy of the site and the energy of the people in it. How cool is that?
Very cool.
Very cool.
A group
Group picture.